After much anticipation, the Ark Franchise Roadmap was released on March 31st, and while many players were expecting to see gameplay and a release date for Ark 2, we got a delay and an announcement for a new version of Ark instead. This week's community crunch started off with a brief introduction and then wasted no time getting to the disappointing news that Ark 2 has been delayed until the end of 2024, when it will launch exclusively on Xbox, Game Pass, and on PC through Steam and Windows. They go on to say, "We've put much thought into delaying Ark 2 for the betterment of the final product and the team's well-being," and then cite a couple of reasons for the delay, including the newness of Unreal Engine 5 and their aim to use it to its full potential, while creating a game with never-before-achieved scope at Studio Wildcard. They then mentioned that as we learn more about the engine and develop the sequel, we have adapted our workflows and adjusted our pipelines to accommodate this new next-generation paradigm, and because of everything that involves, we need more time for development. They then apologized for the delay, but then cut a little deeper by telling us, "We do not plan to showcase any gameplay, screenshots, or videos of Ark 2 this year. However, we intend to keep you informed and engaged in the development process by regularly showcasing more Ark 2 assets in the months ahead, leading to our gameplay reveal next year." They then tell us that in the pursuit of mastering the new engine, we have decided to create an intermediary Unreal Engine 5 Ark product utilizing some of the new technology we are building, allowing us to further our mastery of the new engine and ultimately battle test some of our riskier technical advancements. This will allow them to gain a deep understanding of how well the rendering and lighting techniques work on console, what performance will be like, whether we can optimize and deliver interactive water and foliage on a wide-scale basis, and much more. We will deliver cross-platform modding, cross-platform multiplayer, and a new account system, informing us about other changes we should consider for Ark 2. Due to the scope of all the technical and quality of life changes required for such a next-gen experience, it is not feasible to make this new version of Ark backward compatible, which led us to conclude that this would need to be a separate product. Citing another reason for this Ark project, they go on to say, "We also recognize that Ark 2 has some pretty significant design changes from the original game, which may not make it as appealing to everyone. Looking at you Souls-like combat, primitive-only weaponry, and strict third-person mechanics, and an overall very serious tone, which is why we feel it is essential to provide players with a fully next-gen version of the original experience to ensure that fans can continue to enjoy the Ark they know for years to come. We're thrilled to share this new Ark journey with you this year, bringing players from PC, Xbox, and PlayStation together in a next-generation version of the game you love, topped off with revolutionary cross-platform modding." Naturally, they announced this new project next, which is dubbed Ark Survival Ascended, which will be released on the Xbox Series X and S, PC, and PS5 by the end of August 2023. The base version of the game will include the island, survival of the fittest, and all of the non-canon DLC, which will be added to ASA over time. Xbox and PC players can only get this upgraded version of Ark via the Ark Respawn bundle, which includes ownership of both Ark Survival Ascended and Ark 2 once it releases, priced at $49.99. This bundle will also include access to an exclusive 1-month closed beta to Ark 2 in 2024 before it is released to the public. PS5 users will be able to buy a standalone version of Ark Survival Ascended for $39.99 in August of this year as well. The story expansions will be available for purchase in 2 different bundles that will be released slowly over time as well, each for $19.99. We are given a glimpse of some of the new features as well, which include, as mentioned, the upgrade to UE5, which comes with Nanite, Lumen, and RTX DI, dynamic water, interactive foliage, and more performance gains like instance rendering, which will help with large bases, threaded server network, and native physics engine. Cross-platform multiplayer will be featured as well, which includes cross-platform accounts and cross-progression, cross-voice chat, and friends, etc. No matter what platform you start playing on, you can access your account, characters, dinos, and items on a different platform for the ultimate cross-platform experience. Ark Survival Ascended will also launch with cross-platform modding with the help of Overwolf to introduce an industry-first cross-platform modding experience where mods created on PC are delivered directly to end users' consoles from a custom modding backend. The modding capability will include full blueprinting support, stacked mods, and maps. Everything that is currently possible on the Steam version of Ark Survival Evolved and more will be possible on the new system and be available for end users to play on consoles in all modes. Premium mods are also mentioned here, offering a way for mod authors to make 50% of sales from their mods, citing the necessity to pay for the Overwolf infrastructure to bring mods to consoles in all modes. A cross-platform anti-cheat is also mentioned here. Survival of the Fittest will be making its way to ASA as well, as it will be integrated into the main product as a new fully supported game mode. It will also be getting a Scorched Earth map, matchmaking queue, character and creature customization with cosmetics, and a local lobby where you can group up with your friends, configure the look of your survivor and dinos, and queue up for lobbies together. We will also see art assets upgraded throughout the game, and newly designed holiday events take advantage of the next-gen pipeline, released as mods so they're always available to play. The last section talks about new content, quality of life improvements, balance, and gameplay changes, including but not limited to updated minimap, pan, zoom, pings, etc. similar to the Survival of the Fittest minimap, new structures, display cases, smaller tech teleporters, and building quality of life improvements, snap fixes, increased foundation support, foundation height adjustments, and more. Queuing system, new third-person camera with the option to opt out, directional sprinting and walking, ping system, gamepad cursor, chibi slot and skins tab, balance passes like cave entrances, mechs, aberration creatures, and more breedable creatures, and finally, and more. Seriously, a lot more. This list isn't exhaustive, but it'll get super long if we list everything, and there's more we'll decide to do between now and launch too. They go over the live operations next, where they review some key areas regarding the current version of Ark. A final content update will be released in June for Ark's 8th anniversary, which will include the fan-voted Rhino Natha. There will be no cross-platform between Ark Survival Evolved and Survival Ascended, and ASA will get new holiday events that will be available through mods at any time. The official servers for Survival Evolved are touched on next, where they state that with the launch of ASA, the official servers for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC will be taken down and their saves made available for players to re-host them on their own servers or play in single-player or non-dedi. You will still be able to play single-player, non-dedicated, player-dedicated, and unofficial servers. Ark Survival Ascended will have its own fully supported official network for all platforms. They also mentioned they will be ending support for Primitive Plus. This section ends by stating that the new version will get new content and updates well into the future, while the Survival Evolved updates will be limited to crashes and bug fixes. There will also be a new paid expansion pack in the fall of 23, which includes 4 new creatures. They lay out a timeline for map releases for the Ultimate Survivor Edition on Switch next, with all maps being added by early 24. And also mentioned that the Switch version will be making its way over to revamp the mobile version, with plans to release the expansion packs and non-canon maps as well, giving Ark Mobile its own life cycle and roadmap. To wrap up the roadmap, they briefly mentioned the animated series, saying they have completed the animation and cast recordings of all of its 14 initial episodes, which are currently in post-production. They finished by saying, "We're delighted with how the show turned out. It's an epic melodramatic love letter to dinosaurs, fantasy sci-fi, and of course Ark itself. Though we have not placed it with any platform, hence the lack of news in that area, so as soon as there's more to report, we will let you know." While the delay of Ark 2 is of course very disappointing, I commend Wildcard for making the decision to wait until the game is ready, as opposed to releasing a buggy product just to get it out there. As far as I'm concerned though, Ark Survival Ascended is pretty much Ark 1.5. With the move to UE5 and all the feature updates including the cross-platform mods and renewed lifecycle, ASA will almost be like a whole new game, and I'm very curious to see what new info we get approaching its release this summer. It is nice to see this next-gen update for Ark so players can keep playing the game they love. Since as mentioned near the beginning of this video, there are some controversial changes that were announced for Ark 2 last June, and if you would like to hear more about those changes, I've left a video on screen for you now. That's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, keep gaming.